Pleasure to meet you all at the SAARC Talk Series 2023. Welcome all. This is Dr. Beena Gandhi Deuri, Deputy Director, SAARC Cultural Center, Sri Lanka. SAARC Cultural Center has started the online SAARC Talk Series 2023 with the aim to bring professionals and experts from various backgrounds to engage in dialogue and share insights on how to promote cultural diversity through different mediums and create inclusive environments. So this morning we are very much honored to have with us Ms. Renuka Ikanaike, who's the Director of SAARC Cultural Center, to give the welcome address. Over to Madam.
Good morning, distinguished guests. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the opening day of the talk series on cultural heritage and cultural diversity in the SAARC region, organized by the SAARC Cultural Center. As the director of this esteemed institution, I am honored to welcome you today as we embark on this enlightening journey together. This talk series is a significant initiative aimed at fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation for the rich cultural heritage and diverse traditions that exist within our region. Over the course of the coming months, we will provide a platform for individuals from various professional backgrounds to share their expertise and engage in thoughtful discussions on issues of mutual regional importance. Our speakers, who come from diverse professional backgrounds, including cultural heritage management, museums, archives, academia, film, literature, and archaeology, will enlighten us with their knowledge and insights. They will discuss a range of topics such as intangible heritage, heritage management, indigenous heritage, and many more. Their expertise will undoubtedly inspire us and broaden our perspectives on cultural diversity. We are privileged to have such a distinguished group of professionals and experts who have graciously agreed to share their wisdom with us.
It's okay.
Their presence here today reflects their commitment to preserving and promoting cultural heritage, and we are truly grateful for their participation. The talk series will be held once a month, providing us with ample opportunities to explore various aspects of cultural diversity. It is our hope that through these discussions, we can collectively explore ways to foster and promote cultural diversity in the SAARC region. By bringing individuals from different backgrounds together, we aim to create an environment that encourages insightful conversations and generates innovative ideas. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all our esteemed speakers for their invaluable contributions to this talk series. Your willingness to share your expertise and engage in meaningful dialogue is truly commendable. To our esteemed audience, I invite you to actively participate in these discussions. Your presence here today is a testament to your interest in cultural heritage and diversity. Your insights and perspectives will enrich our conversations and contribute to a fruitful exchange of ideas. In conclusion, I would like to wish this talk series great success and productivity. May it serve as a beacon of enlightenment, bringing us closer to a deeper understanding and appreciation of our diverse cultural heritage. Together, let us strive to preserve, celebrate, and promote the richness of our collective identity. Thank you, and let us now commence this inspiring journey towards cultural diversity. May the talk series be a resounding success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Before formally introducing today's speaker, I would like to mention to all the listeners to kindly mute their mic. Therefore, the listeners are kindly requested to drop their questions in the message box below, or if they need to ask any questions later on at the end of the lecture, they should click the hand icon. It is somewhere down. Even after the lecture, please feel free to leave comments or send your messages to us through email or through our Facebook page. Now, moving on, the first speaker of the online SAARC Talk Series 2023 for the month of May is Dr. Monalisa Maharjan. Welcome, Dr. Maharjan. Dr. Maharjan is a postdoctoral research fellow at Social Research Baha, Kathmandu, Nepal. She is a postdoctoral research fellow, and she's also a consultant at Nepal Heritage Documentation Project. She's also a member of Global Network of UNESCO ICH. She's also in the expert committee of ICH in National Foundation for Development of Indigenous Nationalities. She's also an executive member in ECOMOS Nepal. Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Maharjan. Today, Dr. Maharjan is going to speak on a very important topic, that is the water heritage of Kathmandu Valley Hiti system in past and present. Dr. Maharjan, over to you.
First of all, thank you so much for SAARC Culture Center for inviting me to be the first speaker for this interesting initiative it has taken. I think as a SAARC countries, we are so diverse in cultural heritage, and yet we know very little about the countries, like the culture among the SAARC countries. So I think this initiative is very important and timely to know about each other and be closer to each other and to know about the heritage of each other and share the heritage. And thank you so much once again, Ms. Renuka and Dr. Gandhi. So I'm going to present about my research work that I'm continuing with the project. We have a project about heritage as placemaking. So this is my water heritage and heritage activism is a part of this research. My presentation today is about the water heritage of Kathmandu Valley, and I'm specifically focusing on the Hiti system that is present in Kathmandu Valley. As everybody knows, the water is the basis for life, and water is really important to continue the life on the earth, or in, I don't know, anywhere in the world. I think it's not just for for drinking, cleaning, washing, irrigation. These are the basic needs that we know, right? But in the Nepal and maybe also in the other countries in Asia Pacific, this water has its spiritual needs too, and for cleaning, for purifying. These water are very essential for the human life. And water, especially in context of Nepal, when you say the water has also a specific role for purifying. It's not by just cleaning the microbes and doing the stuff, but also it helps to, when you sprinkle the water and when we have this word called Nilo, or pure water. It's not pure microbiologically, but it's spiritually pure. Like you go early in the morning in the running water tap or stone fountain to get the pure water, and that water can purify. That water you offer to the statues and temples, and also that can clean your houses even with its sprinkling thing. So water had that strong power, purification power as well. And one of the interesting thing about when any city is formed, one of the interesting thing is the need of the water. Like for any civilization to flourish or any city to flourish, there is a basic need is the water. So we have seen the rise and fall of the big civilization based on the availability of the water or the drought. So in this case, water have also the direct link with the formation of the Kathmandu Valley. So in the ancient belief is that the Kathmandu Valley used to be the huge lake, and later the water was drained out and then by some saint, and then it was the livable. The settlement started. The people started to come and start the settlement. So in this process, many animals, like aquatic animals, left the valley, So as a homage to them, you can see many temples. So the waters to the fountains are brought from the nearby springs uh, through the underground water canals. They are made from the stones or from the wood, no, not from the stones, like either from the stones, from the terracotta brick, or from the made from the wooden structures. So you can see the one of the other water fountain is so you can see the other water fountain like this. Normally the water fountains are in the pit, and so this is also known as the normally like usually this kind of the water spouts are also known as pit conduit or the Hiti or the stone spout or like or low Hiti, depending upon the material that is made from the Hitis are made. So normally, because of to maintain the gravitational flow, normally these cities are in the lower elevation, so that when the water is brought from the distant spring, maintaining the flow and the speed, so you can see this kind of the cities are made in the different levels. So this is one of the unique water management system, as in the ancient time when there was not like this technological advancement like we have now, with the measurement of the water leveling or to check the water velocity, the velocity of flow of the water. So at that time, like the engineering was so advanced that the water used to flow like 24 hours in this kind of the water spots. So one of I took this picture from the book Hiti Pranali by P.S. Joshi sir. So this is a very simplest form of the how this water fountain system works. Like here you can see the spring, the collection pit from the nearby sources, and through this tunnel or this small conduit, they are brought to the nearby cities. As and these water spouts, they are in the different elevation in the city. So based on the spring and the need or the best place to keep this water spout, these are the water spouts are constructed within the city, and these water spouts are not standing alone spouts. So here you can see the different kind of the structures along with the water spouts. Like there is water spouts and also like the different kind of the statues and figures that are present in the within the water spout areas. So I will have the other pictures here later. For example, this kind of the structures, you can see these structures that are present within the water spouts. Besides like Hitis, like this water spouts, it's more than just these water spouts are more than just for drinking water. You can see these water spouts are the examples of the artistic beauty, and you can see the different kind of deities, animals, flowers, and imaginative figures that are engraved within the water fountains. So this one, the picture that you are seeing is in from the Sundari Chowk in the Patandara Square too. And this spout is known as Tusa Hiti, meaning the calf of the cow calf. So that calf, like the water is pouring out of the calf, but that one is missing now here. But still, it is named as the calf, and you can see the image of the deities image at the top, and other images of the elephants, and there are other images of the stone statues in the within this house, within this pit. Um, Along with this water spout, there are other structures constructed within in the premises of the water spouts, like the rest houses and temples and these kind of things. So that in the ancient time, like while the travelers pass through the one city to other city, they have to walk. That was the only option. So along the route, these water spouts were constructed, and along with that, the rest houses was constructed as well, so that people can take a rest or sometimes spend the night over, cook their meals, and have the water for the travelers as well as a place for the worshipping. There are different kind of the artistic engraving within the water fountains like this one. This one is from the left one is from the chimney. You can see it is also in the roadside, and the other one is the statue of the Bhagirath. Normally, this kind of the engraving are made in the lower side of the water spouts. So from the pictures, like also you can see like there are different kind of the uses of the Hiti. The primary function, of course, is for the clean drinking water, which are near to your houses, and next one is to wash, clean, and bathe. And also like there are also the spaces in the there used to be a spaces in the Hiti space for the drying the clothes. So it had a big space. Now the spaces has shrunken, but in the old days, like there used to be space, so people could utilize that for the other purpose than washing or for drinking water. And the special features of this kind of Hiti is that it shows continuous 24 hours, and because of that, the flowing water is considered to be the pure, and also the spiritually pure. And these Hiti space are not the secular place. So if you go to the Hiti area, you can see the statue of the Buddha, the statue of the Shiva and Uma Maheshwar, and also like the different deities. Like it's according to the people's will. Whatever religion they follow, they kept the statue there. So it's a kind of the secular space. Uh, the Hiti is a kind of the secular space too. And also like you can see these places are also like these are the places where people could gather and chat around. This one in the lower right corner, you could see the palsa. This is a rest house where people could come and sit. And in the middle, you can see the woman offering the water to the Sivalinga. And the top was one like this. It is dry during during the dry season, so people are using this space to light the butter lamp during the festival. And you can see the other one, the dried one too. This is from Bakapur. This is the courtyard of the Thaubadel. You can see the different kind of the artistic image. Like it's a kind of the alif. It's a kind of the calf coming out of the elephant mouth. Like you can see huge different kind of the images in this kind of the stone spouts. And this even though like many water spouts they have gone dry, so I will explain you the later the reasons for the spouts being dry. You can see these spouts are still considered to be the auspicious one, and if there is something wrong that happens it goes wrong to your health, then people go and offer uh, do the worshipping in these spouts. For example, the one that you can see in the left, this Hiti is whenever people think that something like rashes come to your body or these kind of things, we call it like a nagong punahau. It means like this done by the serpent in the Hittis. If you throw the trash or do something bad in the Hitti, then you get this kind of thing. So people still worship this kind of structure. As I told you already, these water sources are considered to be the space for the aquatic animals like snakes, frog, and fishes. So these kind of the structures and people worship these aquatic animals. So this water fountain, even though the water is not flowing through these structures, people still worship in this kind of the Hiti, like this the linkage of the people with the belief is continuing, like with continuing these traditions. This has become now like a worshipping space, sacred space. And regarding the ancient management of the Hiti, it was these Hittis are constructed in the different localities. Even within one locality, there might be different kind of different Hittis. So like one community will use one Hiti and the other community might use the other Hiti. So there are several Hittis. So the community living next to the Hittis were responsible to take care of Hiti. They used to go early morning to wash in the wash the face in the early morning and get water. So in the course, like I heard like people saying like their fathers used to go there. So and they also used to take one sickle with them. If they find
Write the
any
name
grasses
of
growing
the
there, they will just
participants.
take
Can
it
you tell
out.
that
Nobody has
somebody
to
is
tell them
doing
to
it?
clean them. So it's their water sources, and they know when like they need to keep it clean, or not just to get the clean water, also because of these values they have, like they need to clean the
So here
sources
I'll go
clean,
now. No.
otherwise they might be punished
Oh no.
by these aquatic animals, or they have this spiritual
So I will
belief.
go there and I'll make
So
it
the
tile.
communities were they
Okay.
were responsible to
You ask
maintain
Callum
these
or
hittis.
somebody to
But
write
now
the name, because I don't know these
because
people
of the
registered
like
or
the
not.
modernizing, people don't go to these sources every day to get water, or to do their to start their day with washing the face. So every year during the April, May, there's one day called City Naha. People gather and they clean the water sources and worship the spout. This one you can see there's people cleaning the water spouts, and this day is also for cleaning the wells and ponds and other form of the water sources. People still continue this kind of the traditions, and also in the day they eat this pancake made out of the various lentils. I touched earlier a bit in the decline of the Hiti system. So normally this the until 1896, these sources, these were the main sources of drinking water, either stone spouts or wells. So these were the major sources of drinking water. And after 1895, the Rana Prime Minister, they introduced the pipeline water system in the communities. Firstly, they introduced this pipeline system to their palaces, and later from the 1970s, every houses started to get connected to the water pipeline. So the thing that now everybody has the connection, just not just to the locality, but to their own house. So people stopped using this kind of the water fountain. So this was the 1970s was the time when there was the decline of the uses of the Hiti started. And of course, like it's difficult to carry the water in the pot, so, and also due to the demand of this flush system of the toilet and other things, the demand for the water increase, and so it's easier to get the water connected to your one house, and you store in the tank and you use that, and then uh, uh, like besides like going to the Hiti nearby Hiti, it's easier. And normally it's always the woman who used to go to fetch the water. So it was the changes in the easier lifestyle made them choose the private Hiti over those public Hitis. Um, and also the growth of the cities and the buildings, if you see from the 1970s till now, there has been a drastic increase um, in the population and the houses in the Kathmandu Valley. So as well as the demand of the water has increased exponentially. And when the new Hiti system was formed, this kind of the water sources were never considered while making the plans. And also the houses, we see the houses there in the ancient days. The ancient days, the houses in the Kathmandu Valley were the 3 to 4 stories. Now we can see the houses which goes until 10 story or 20 story, and then we have the basement system for parking and underground water tank. This kind of the things, when you go dig deep uh, into the earth, and they also destroyed the water canal system that were present underground for these Hittis. And this kind of the sources were never taken care of in the end, while making the plan for the growing cities. And and the next thing is due to the high demand of the population, and the government of the this government water system could not supply water to government supply system could not meet the demand of the ongoing increasing population and the demand of the water. So the people started to have a private well in their houses or have a deep water boring so that they could meet their demand. And in this return, it also have an impact on the water sources where which channel which supplies to the Hiti. The sources that goes to the Hiti are now diverted by excessive extraction of the water for the private uses. And you can see these kind of structures where the Hiti goes dry. Some of them like goes dry during the dry season and return back during the monsoon, and some have gone permanently dry for like like it doesn't work. And some like the ones that are working are based. Some have the connection for the national line, like they have a tap line. So some of the like if we look at this traditional water supply system, so much has been damaged, and you can see in the end what happens is like the Hiti turns into the monument. It's for worshipping and it's for the aesthetic beauties. Now like it seems like the situation is really bad, but there are some Hitis that are still functional, and some are functional for 24 12 months a year, and some goes dry for the 4 months. These kind of things are there. But normally now, because everybody has this supply of water to the houses, there are section of the society who goes to fetch the water. The one who goes to the fetch the water is early morning are for the local inhabitants who go for the pure water, Nilo, or to worship the statues in the cities. And the next ones are the section of the society who has to depend on the daily wages, and they go to fetch water in the nearby water spots. So you can see these kind of the pictures with the yellow and blue water gallons queuing up to fetch the water. These are during the dry season, so that the line is long, and also they come from the as far as 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer to get the water in the spouts. And most of this Hitis, like local clubs, has forbidden people to wash the clothes and take a shower in the Hitis because of the excessive use of the soap and detergent. This water, the outlet of the Hitis has been clogged. So to avoid that, people are refraining. The local clubs are refraining people from washing clothes inside the Hiti areas. But still, there are some Hitis people go at night at around 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. to wash the clothes and take bath in the Hitis. And I think it's also based on the necessity of the water. And you can see people also going to fetch water in the scooters and the nearby Hitis. And this water is like the one of the interesting aspect of these water fountains is in the summer the water flowing from this Hiti are really cool. It's fresh, and in the winter it's warmer. It's because of the temperature maintained inside the earth. And you can see because of this also, like people the local residents like to get the water from the nearby Hitis to drink. You can see people coming with a small pot just for drinking, or small bucket to fetch the water for drinking, and also to take a shower. um, Now, like you can see, like these cities are like normally made in the glazed bricks and tiles. This is what now has become the trademark of the Newa heritage. Newas are the people, local inhabitants of the Kathmandu Valley. and this has become the trademark of these cities. And you can see, when you think like when the government think they are conserving the Hiti, it's limited to just the outer facade. And no matter how old or how ancient the Hiti is, it's when it means when it comes to the revival of those canals has not been undergone. Some of the some of the Hittis, like in Nagbal, people have tried to revive the Hiti through through identifying the water canals and the sources. But still, because the local people do not depend on the nearby Hittis for their daily use. So because of the abandonment by the local people, local inhabitants, the conservation of the Hiti, like the safeguarding of the Hittis, are in limbo. And the difficulty of going digging underground of somebody else's house is very difficult, and there has not been the proper plan or detailed inventory of regarding the underground water canal of these cities. So no study, there is still the need of identifying the water sources for the specific the Hittis that are inside the Kathmandu Valley. Right now, when we see the conservation of Hittis, it's limited to the only the visible part of the Hittis. Hittis are much more than what we see above the ground. Like if we, it's like the tip of the iceberg. What we see is the tip of the iceberg. There are like 90% of the things that we don't know, and technically, Department of Archaeology is responsible for all the tangible heritage of Nepal. So if you need any permission to restore the Hiti, you need to take the permission of the Department of Archaeology. But the Hiti is interlinked with the nature and as well as the culture. So this part of the linkage of the nature and the culture hasn't been identified in the conservation process in Nepal. So we need to look at this kind of the structures that are not just important for the spiritual culture or tangible artistic values. We need to also understand the natural value of this kind of the heritage. So what comes now is like a local government is spending lots of money just for the decoration of the outer facade. You can see this city is just in front of the Patan municipality, and but the outlet of the Hiti is the drainage of the Hiti is not well maintained, and also the water coming from the Hiti has a linkage to the sewage, so it stinks. And the space is really looks good, but this is not the purpose of the Hiti. If we see around the Kathmandu Valley, there are hundreds of the monuments, but these Hittis go beyond the monuments. So this is another example of the Hittis that are just maintained for the facade. And when I talk about these things, it seems a little bit gloomy. But after like a post-earthquake, 2015 earthquake, there has been a small like a ray of the hope in the heritage conservation area. When the monuments were destroyed, like there was like among the youth and among the people, a sentiment for the heritage emerged, and this could be seen as the heritage activism that young people were involved in. So among this kind of the heritage activism, there was this Hiti activism things also came into the picture. When I say like the need for the activism, as in the past, these cities were never considered as a monument, or they were in the prioritized for the conservation. As in Kathmandu Valley, we have many outstanding monuments, like very tall temples, very excellent looking monument. So the heritage of the local importance, like Hiti, Halsa, the rest houses and stupas, they were abandoned. They were not taken care of. And so this kind of like the post 2015, this sense of belongingness, the need to conserve the heritage of the local importance came to exist. And this was also boosted by the presence of the social media, the access of the different kinds of the media platform that is available now. And also like this kind of the heritage awareness it emerged in this last decades in Nepal has also helped in the this activism thing. And in 2020 election, we could also see that people were prioritizing this Hiti. The mayor that won the election, local election in the last year, he had in his political manifesto he will revive the Hitis of Kathmandu Valley. But it's still yet to it does the emotional sentiment. It had the soft power over the local people, but it's still yet to see what he will do. He hasn't done much for the Hiti till now. So I hope like there is still 4 years like he could do. So this is one of the person, Yadav Lal Kayastaji, very active in the Hiti activism. This is one of the Hiti that he excavated, and it's a Sora Hiti. It's also very well known. The area is well known, but the Hiti is not well known because of this excavation thing. And with his team, he could at least make the facade of the Hiti, construct the facade of the Hiti. But still now he and his team are looking to revive the Hiti through the connecting the water sources. To conclude my presentation, the main thing about the Hiti is not just a structure for the worshipping or for its it doesn't have just the architectural significance, but it's much more than that. Uh, it, it's a living heritage that has a direct link with the local communities. Either people have that kind of linkage as in the past, but still there are the communities that has a direct link to the Hiti to get the water, at least one bucket of water early in the morning for the ritual thing, or the people, a section of the society who goes to get the water from the water spouts. And there is a need for this kind of structure to have a heritage conservation plan for this kind of structure, which we just see from the outside, but also like these are linked to the nature, and it has a direct impact to the everyday life of the people. So I think these kind of structures are not only present in the Nepal, it's also in the many structures are like this kind of water structures are present in the South Asia. I know about the Indian step well system, but it's a bit different from this one. But this, I think we need to have conservation plan for these kind of structures because of the presence of outstanding structures we have, outstanding heritage. This kind of the heritage which has a direct link and have a direct impact with the people are abundant in the National Conservation Plan. So thank you so much for listening. This is my presentation. I hope I could answer the questions if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Maharjan, for your insightful and inspiring lecture on the water heritage of Kathmandu Valley with special reference to Hiti system. It is indeed a very exhaustive research that you have done, and as you have mentioned, water is an essential part of all cultural heritage. Now I'd like to invite listeners for their questions or comments if they have any. I have seen in the comment section there is a comment by Indira Majumdar. So, Indira, are you there?
Very much.
Okay,
yes.
please, I have seen your comments, so I'd like you to read out what you have mentioned there.
Yeah, I just have to open the page.
Okay, you have.
Yeah, I have two things. I have learned this morning two things. One is India being the country of multiple religions. Water has not been discussed as a symbol of purification ever. That is what I learned today. And thank you so much for highlighting this issue. So much needed to it today. Number one. Number two, which I could not write because I was listening to Dr. Monalisa for that wonderful presentation. I didn't want to miss a single word. And it is so very important. I, being a teacher, I can present this, to the class and tell them about this kind of a heritage, how needs to be looked into, preserved, and a conservation plan has to be done. My second point is, in the hilly areas, the spring, we never use this kind of a I mean, this was not never. I mean, this is not highlighted much that in the hilly regions we have plenty of springs, here and there at every corner. If that can be also brought into the attention of the government, at least among the youth, young generation, to work on it, would be a great thing, because India does suffer from, from a lot of, water problems, water pollution, especially, then scarcity of water, everything, both in terms of quality and quantity. A lot of water gets wasted. So these two things have, touched me to a great extent. And I'm going to do that, with my class when my school reopens. And I teach senior classes. I hope they understand. And they're doing a lot of conservation work, heritage, this, that. But I have not seen that working on water this way. So this, Dr. Monalisa's, presentation has impacted me so much, touched me so much, and is so very useful from the point of view of education that I'm going to share definitely to people around me. In fact, tomorrow I have a meeting with a group of people. I'm going to share this, It's what I learned from a talk that I attended. These two things I have to just tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
I think these two issues are very important in India now. Should be. That is what I see. We do a lot of, talk and presentation on quantity, quality, scarcity of water, how to raise, how to preserve, how to conserve, but not specifically these kinds of ancient things being brought. Yes, we have rainwater harvesting, but that's in a very, in a scattered manner. Nothing planned or not much encouraged among the young people that way. What is very important is to impact, to leave that impact on young people's minds. Then only they will do it seriously. So this is a very important part for our country, I think, and that this has to be highlighted, brought to the attention of the local government, and then, as it goes higher to the national level. So that's it. That is what I have to tell you.
Yes, Indira Majumdar, thank you very much for your input. And exactly as you have said, and Dr. Monalisa has also pointed out, this ancient traditional knowledge system could be revived to meet many of these our water scarcity problems, especially in the mountainous hilly region where we have these natural springs, we have streams and rivers.
Yes. And we have plenty of these resources,
Exactly.
But it has to be organized, through our young population in a proper way.
Yes.
And it has to be a continued pursuit, we have to follow it up, generation after generation.
Yeah, like okay. Now we have, yeah, India, like I would interrupt you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your kind words. In between, I would just scatter my mind, just got diverted because of the pressure cooker noise coming from the neighbors, and also also the slide was not opening. I'm so sorry for that. I think this kind of the talk that SAARC Culture Center have initiated is very important, because to address this kind of the issues that we have, like in Asian countries, South Asia, we all have these water sources, and we have this spiritual belief that we need to conserve the water sources or this kind of natural sources. So we need to highlight these indigenous beliefs. And now we have these sustainable development goals and indigenous practices, this kind of all things for the conservation. But it has been our tradition, or the indigenous knowledge have already been teaching us this kind of the things to take of the sources in one way or the other way. Like for the sources, people don't dare to throw the trash there, but they do somehow, but they don't directly do these kind of things, because they have this belief that if you do something bad there, this rashes comes or things happen, bad things happens to you. That's a way of teaching people to take care of your resources for the future generation, right?
Yes, exactly. Anybody else has any question or any input, any comment? Yes, I can see Upasana Chetri. Yes, please go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much, Dr. Maharjan. It was such an engaging talk. And like Indira ma'am said, something that has been neglected all through. I just had like a very curious questions, like two very curious questions. And they were, what are the source of these Hittis? Like, are they situated near the natural water bodies like rivers or lakes or ponds or like that? Or, and if not, what was the technology to channel the waters to these Hittis?
I will share you one more slide. I think I missed that one. The sources of the water, the Hitis, are this nearby aquifers like this one. It's a very simple, basic one. From the distant source, this through the this small. It's made from the wood or terracotta. This duct, so that it's like a modern day pipeline system. This kind of with this one, these are brought from the nearest aquifers to the city. And other cases, like there are these canals that are from the bit distant sources, and every cities have their own sources like this water canal. And the very interesting thing, I like when I talk with the people, like older generation people, they in one sense, like it's difficult to get the water right. These cities also have like outstanding places, like excellent space to sit around and chat. So, and some of the places also have these rest houses where you can sit in the base and then talk.
It's working now, but internet was
It's
disconnected
very difficult to
for
get
2
water
or 3
for the whole
minutes.
family when the
Just come back now.
responsibility of getting water
It's
was
okay.
limited to just
So
women.
I told him, I think this
And
is
in other way,
Z4.
these older generation
Z4.
people, they miss
Z4.
going there every morning, and they think
Z4.
like when they used to go there, they could talk with their friends and they could know what was going
This
around.
one, see?
But now
4.
everybody got busy. The workload got lesser for the woman, but it got like added up in other way, like they need to cook or they need to take care of things, so, and they need to go to office. This kind of stuff has been added. It's this kind of the structures is a great place for the social interaction. And I show you this one picture where people gather in this in the traditional quarter of this. You can see this kind of the structures, like yearly they do this cleaning program, and each member of the one member from every family come there to clean the house, they clean the Hiti. So this one they have a good uh, connection
Okay,
with
I
the
once before
people
also.
living around.
This is
But
the
now
second time.
as you can see, the people
See?
are moving out of the ancient cities and living outside. So the linkage that they had in the old days also
Is no
has
problem.
been fragmented. So
This
the
light.
renters coming up, and they come and they go, and it's not like the people who have been living for generations. It is also the different issue. I didn't touch to this part because it might be too long. This presentation. Thank you for the question, Upasna.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maharjan. And thank you so much, Veena ma'am. It was so great to see you after so long.
So, okay, thank you, Dr. Maharjan. It was a great honor to have you online for the SAARC Talk series with us. And before we end, I'd just like to remind the listeners regarding the upcoming second lecture of the talk series in the month of June, to be delivered by Professor B. D. Nandadeva, who is a retired professor of University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka. And the topic is Safeguarding Intangible Cultural Heritage for South Asian Regional Cooperation. For further information will be on our SAARC website and Facebook page. And once again, I thank you all for joining us today, and see you all next week. Thank you very much.